Fast food workers of Reddit. What's the most irritating part about your job? The disconnect between decisions made by upper management or corporate and what really happens on the floor. For example, you must clock out within an hour of close, but everything better be done. And also you aren't allowed to lift a finger once you've clocked out because we'll get in trouble for wage theft. But also everything better be done, and you cannot clock out any later than XX20. Or you got slammed in the last 30 minutes and weren't able to do any of your pre-closing tasks. Well, sorry, but the customers always take priority, so I'd figure it out. Just to give one example of many. Employees who take the job thinking this is easy work, and customers who belittle employees because they think it's easy work. Guess what? Standing over a 500 grill while trying to get your order out in 3:30 is not actually easy. Person who needs to take my spot to deal with something else puts their earbuds in the second they think I'm not looking. And there's a different Karen on the phone complaining that their food is wrong. It gave me completely abnormal views of working, and at my first professional role, I was such a puppy dog my director had to explain. You don't have to ask to go for lunch, or bring a doctor's note when you're sick. I was so programmed to be micromanaged, it was completely different to be trusted to meet my goals. I would not make my kids do retail or fast food if I could avoid it. It teaches completely submissive behavior and way too much BS handling. I do taxes for about 8 hours of the day, and once I watched a McDonald's line prep 60-minute YouTube, and their job is 5 times harder than mine. I still think of it when I'm doing too much and working too hard how I wouldn't even make it at McDonald's. When I overwork myself, I get insomnia and my mental health spirals. I can't imagine working like a machine like I saw on that YouTube. I wouldn't make it a few weeks. When I was younger, the thing that irritated me most about working in fast food was that the managers would always forget that I was in high school and could not work weekdays. Evenings, yes, weekends, of course, then I'd get in trouble for no showing. And it wasn't once or twice per year, it was every other month. This was not limited to one single store either, nor one single country. Like 20 years ago, when I worked there at 16, it was the predatory older woman who wanted to hang out outside of work. She ended up running out and quitting after stuffing $100 in her pocket. Funny thing is, that became a felony charge as she forgot to take off her headset valued at $500. Couldn't imagine these days. That was even before drive-through soda bombing was a thing. Customers being racist towards my coworkers. You would not believe the shit white middle-aged women will say. Customers also 100 of the time white middle-aged women lying about how long they've waited on their food. Like no Karen, you have absolutely not waited 40 minutes. Your order as a timestamp. You have waited for minuites. Get the fuck out of here. People coming to the store, shop, or on drugs. And we have to close the store down. Still remember my first month working at Burger King. And a guy ordered breakfast and sat at a booth. 2 minutes later, my boss told me to sit next to the guy and hold him up because he was shaking and foaming at the mouth until 911 came. Former fast food, now a professional. The worst part in retrospect is that you were expected to be constantly busy when you are on the clock for 8 hours straight, without so much as glancing at your phone. This isn't a realistic workflow. And in the professional world, you're not treated like that. It is extremely fast-paced, especially if you're working at a popular food location right on a highway. I work somewhere else now. That requires a decent amount of math, double-checking, and a hell of a lot more money. And my coworkers are good at their job, but most of them couldn't handle fast food. When customers would fight me, the window worker, on prices, cheese being an extra 75 cents at my Jimmy John's is outrageous. I agree. I had nothing to do with it. And I don't have the power to override it. 100 when customers come in 10 minutes before close. If they're nice, I'll let it slide. But showing up right before close, and you're an asshole, grinds my gears, man. Haven't worked in a fast food restaurant in 20 years. And I remember little league teams coming in and just destroying the place, dealing with rude customers who act like we have control over the prices and menu. Like, chill out, Karen. The speed at which you are to complete your tasks, and to keep that speed up for the entire 8-hour shift. Honestly, the shitty demeanor some people take. Where's the courtesy anymore?